You know, it just doesn't feel the same. We're on chapter 1016. If you haven't watched my last video, we are done with the physicals of One Piece currently that's out right now. And yeah, welcome to the new era of us reading through One Piece. It feels weird. It feels off. I'm sitting down on an iPad. I'm scared. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Let's talk about One Piece. I will tell you one thing I didn't think was going to happen when I started reading on the app. The pages have to load. That's new. Never had to deal with pages having to load. It was a bummer, but we figured it out. And also, you have to like turn it to get the splash pages. It's going to take some getting used to. All right, we're going to get through this. It's just change is scary. I don't know if you know that. Like, change is tough. But I was right. Zeus is in the baton. He was like, think of me a name. And I was like, Fluff. He was like, here comes Zeus. She's like, all right, fair enough. Zeus, it could be. But this chapter was basically, they were having this conversation talking about, you know, everyone thinks like Straw Hat Luffy is dead or no more and stuff. And how no one has stopped fighting. And it actually got me thinking, like, this battle was set off by Luffy, well, really by the samurai. But it's not about them. It is about everyone from Wano being fed up. They're over it. And it's their time to finally stand up against like this oppression that's been going on in Wano. It's actually a very powerful message that is really coming across very, very strong and super well done. But on top of that, and on top of Zeus and Nami, and he is powerful, that splash page when he attacked, oof. Oh. Very good. Very good. But it looks like in chapter 1000, I want to say 1017. I'm going to start saying 1017. It's how I just say the numbers. 10, I mean 1000, but I'm going to say it. But it looks like in chapter 1017, Yamato is finally going to face off against Kaido. And boy, that fight has been a long time coming. So you're telling me Luffy has eaten a stolen devil fruit from a government ship? All right, I can't. Listen, I have this thing. I do it when I talk on the phone. I got to pace, so this doesn't feel right. I'll be right back.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Let's talk about this chapter. Just a little bit. Actually, a lot really happened in this chapter. So, Sanji is facing off against Queen, who's like, I'll tell you my secret, I'm a cyborg, in the panel with him. And he's like, was that supposed to be a secret? Or like, because... And another thing I really liked was the old geezer Chopper. And he is talking to, and you're going to have to help me in the comments. I cannot remember this character, but it's about Zhao. And because they say, did you have this medicine on Zhao? And they're going to give it to Zoro, basically regenerates him. But there's a stipulation. The pain comes back twice as strong. If we remember anything about Zoro, that doesn't bother him at all. He's like, all that matters right now is that I can fight. So we're not getting any payoff with Yamato and Kaido. And that's a bummer. But, boy, Jinbei is fighting a CP9 member who escaped from prison, and he's like, oh, I remember hearing about that. They did not say his name, or I might have missed it. He tells him, just at the end of this chapter, Luffy might have eaten the devil fruit that was on this government ship, that got stolen from this government ship. It got me thinking, and this is why I had to like pace around. It helps my brain think, to be honest. Okay, here, I'm gonna have a theory, and follow me if you would like. Or call me crazy in the comments down below. Either way, hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're watching the video. The government, if I remember correctly, is kind of a part of this smile stuff, or trying to shut down. There's been a lot of twists and turns. My theory is, what if Luffy ate one of the smile fruits? Does that sound crazy? I guess it does sound crazy, right? Because he would be part animal. Their whole thing, the smile thing, is the gifters, the pleasers, and there's another group. The waiters? I think it is the waiters, actually. So never mind. That theory is right out the window. I have debunked that theory myself. But there has to be something going on with Luffy's devil fruit. You don't say that and not have a payoff. You don't put in this thing of like, oh, but his devil fruit was stolen from a government vessel. Like, obviously the government probably would be out looking for devil fruits, right? So, like I said, my original theory a few seconds ago, I don't know if you remember, it was wrong. Like most of my theories, I'm going to be honest. But there's got to be something with his devil fruit. And I think it is going to come into play, because we talked earlier in the last video. I think it's time for Luffy to get kind of like a upgrade, you know? So I bet whatever is mentioned about this devil fruit, unless that's in game, unless that is the end arc that Oda's just leaving, he loves to leave breadcrumbs, leaving breadcrumbs for us, because I mean, I guess y'all didn't know when you were reading it, but I know now that after Wano is kind of the final saga or final arc that Oda's getting into. So I guess maybe that does spoil a little bit for me, but maybe he is setting that up for the final arc. But mark my words, I definitely think there's something to that. This chapter is all about Jinbei. This chapter is all about Jinbei. Well, and actually Otama, because it's been going on in the background, but she finally switched all of the gifters to the side of the samurai. So that was real neat to see. And Zeus is now Nami's sidekick, because she winked at him and he's like, get out of the way. That was a pretty funny moment. But it was who's who versus Jinbei. And actually, now that I mentioned this, there's two things I kind of want to correct on the last bit. See, this is the good thing about me just going straight into it. I can actually correct stuff in the video as I'm recording it. I do remember, because he is part of the Topo Ropo. I think I got it that time. You guys kind of left it in the comments. Topo Ropo. It's got to be pretty close. Like, way better than Topi Ropey. I'll tell you. TR. And I remember seeing him a few chapters back now. And two, I wanted to look at my volume 1 of One Piece. When Shanks, when Luffy eats the devil fruit and Shanks is introduced, basically in the first volume, is it said that it's taken from a government ship? Does he tell, like, Luffy, and does Luffy overhear? Was that known before this? Because if so, I mean, I've read that volume 3 times now. So I thought I would remember it, but I don't think so. But it is a possibility, so I just wanted to make that maybe correction. I might have misspoke on that. So, there's something I really loved about this volume, and I really want to talk about it. Who's Who is talking about when he's in prison and a guard had told him he needs to pray to the Sun God. And he actually asked Jinbei, well, you were, you know, kind of part of the Sun Pirates. Was there any, and it was built by a bunch of slaves that had been in prison and stuff like that. Had you heard anything about it? And obviously Jinbei's like, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you nothing. But I really liked that Oda put that in there. I liked that the first time, at least that we're hearing kind of like about Sun God, he was part of the Sun Pirates. It kind of gives, whether anything comes about it or not or whatever, it kind of gives Jinbei and this Who's Who like a reason that they are the ones fighting each other. And I thought that was really well done. But Jinbei, that's how this chapter ends. He hits him directly in the face with his fishman karate. Oh, that was a great image. But I don't think that Who's Who is down. I actually think that it's going to be, the fight is still going to continue. I don't think it's over. But I'm wondering, is the Sun God stuff going to be, you know, paid off? Because Oda does do this image. So again, it's tough for me because I feel like, I mean, you guys have kind of told me to current and Wano's over now currently. We got maybe 35 more chapters of Wano. And I feel like the stuff they're introducing, if the government stuff is new and there is something going on with Luffy's devil fruit and there is something going on with maybe Jinbei, Sun Pirates, Sun God, is it all breadcrumbs for setting up the next arc? Because that's, if we remember, I mean, listen, I've read all this like relatively recently, it took me a year, but he does do that. He does lay groundwork So I'm wondering if this is the groundwork for way later on. If it gets paid off, or does it get paid off in like the next volume or whatever. But I do feel like we're booking it. I feel like, does it feel like it's moving fast? How you guys liking this new format? Let me know in the comments down below, because I feel like I've just been sitting over there reading, hopping up, doing this. I don't know, I kind of like it. It feels like I have more energy, and I don't have time to overthink things, which is kind of nice. And probably maybe not so nice for you, because maybe I'm just like rambling about nothing, and you're like, man, God, get to the good stuff. You got the good stuff coming. Just crank it up a notch. But yeah, let's get to 1019. You know what's great about reading on an iPad? I can read anywhere. We can kind of switch it up. Also, these colored pages, boy, they are very nice. But yeah, we're on chapter 1019. Let's read some One Piece. Okay, I just had to pause real quick. When Luffy wakes up and just yells meat. Oh yeah, oh he's back. Oh, Luffy's back. All right, I gotta get back to reading. But dude wanted meat immediately. So besides Luffy wanting the meat, which we already talked about, it's basically Frankie versus Sasuke, the Triceratops. Let me tell you, okay, and I will actually say that I feel like Wano's doing a real good job with this. It's giving the Straw Hats moments, right? Because this could have easily been Luffy, because the more I read, I really do, like, how's Luffy going to beat Kaido, right? Like, that's the biggest question, and it could have easily been, you know, Luffy gets defeated, and, like, Zoro, Sanji kind of step in, and then somehow, you know, he gets more powerful and beats Kaido, right? The standard shonen stuff. But instead, Oda's taken this time, and he's given, like, Chopper his moment already. He's giving Frankie his moment. He's giving Sanji. Nami's got Zeus now in the baton. And I really just want to take a moment and really say, like, how much I love that. But the big question is, okay, did Frankie remind anybody of the Megazord from Power Rangers? I know I've said that before, but he really reminded me in this battle. But when he does the cannon, ooh! That page is nice. That page is so good. But Frankie almost sacrificed himself. That's kind of how, like, this chapter ends. And obviously, they are really teasing the Yamato and Kaido fight. I feel like, was it last chapter and the chapter before that? Like, the last 2 pages are always, like, them on the roof. Like, they're doing it. It's on. It's coming. It's coming. Please let it get here. I really want to read it, man. Like, I'm ready. But yeah, Frankie was awesome. It was a great fight. I don't know if, I mean, he blew him away. Like, I mean, the fight's over, but he says something about, like, he's going to sacrifice both, even if it, you know, costs us both to sacrifice, and we only get, like, this little small panel of his face. So if Frankie did win, but either he's in not a very good, like, he's pretty beat up, or, like, did he sacrifice himself? Obviously, Frankie would not, Oda would not do a Frankie sacrifice like that, where it's just like a little shot of his face and we never see him again, and we hear, like, uh-oh, didn't work out. But either way, that fight was super well done. So let's get to 1020. Okay, wait, don't mind the pajama pants. Listen, it's at night, I'm relaxing. No, so I go to read 1020, and I notice this page. I'll put it on the screen. This page, has it been already, like, seen that Yamato can go, like, mink? Is that Moonlight? She, like, part mink? Has she tapped into that power? I cannot believe I did not bring that up. That's the problem with, like, doing immediate reactions to reading stuff, right? Because you kind of miss stuff. But yeah, because it was open on the last page, obviously, when I was going to 1020. And I saw that. I mean, I'm about to read 1020. Hopefully they expand on that. But I am so sorry for not bringing that up just a few moments earlier. Okay, a few things, right? So they immediately talk about the dog fruit, and you guys are going to have to help me pronounce in the comments down below, the wolf guardian of Wano. So it's not Sulong. It When I saw that image close up, I was like, I gotta turn on. It looked like Sulong. But apparently it is a part of the dog fruit. And she's basically channeling a guardian spirit of Wano. So maybe they might go into that more, or they have gone into it before. Again, you guys can kind of help me in the comments down below. But the other thing, well, there's a few things. One of the things, Black Mirror toys with Nico Robin. You're gonna bring Saul out here? You're going to bring Saul. Oh, dude. That part, like you see her mother and the professor and then Saul, and Brooks like really trying to be like, hey, don't do it, Nico Robin. And then she slaps them all in the face, uppercuts them. And Brooks like, hey, man, you could have told me like it wasn't working. Like that would have been okay if you'd have been like, hey man, it's not working. So Nico Robin is going to face off against Black Mirror while Brooke is dealing with the ghoulies. I will say this, and I might have said this in a video before. Well, listen, we've done a lot of these videos. But the way that Brooke does his attack, the soul attack, and the way he lands on the page looks so good on this iPad. That is one thing I will say about this. I might go more in depth like at the end of the video, kind of like whenever I'm wrapping this up. I still don't know how many chapters it's going to be, so buckle in. You're probably looking at the playtime down below and being like, hey, you got like 10 more minutes. So something crazy must happen. Ooh, you know. I don't even know yet. But yeah, the way he lands and the way he attacks, it just looks so good. It always looked good in the manga, but it looks really good on this computer screen page. But when Nico Robin goes into Sanji and how, because Black Mirror kind of wanted to throw it in her face that he's supposed to be the #2 bounty. You know, and he lured you here. You're in our trap. And Nico Robin, she's not in anybody's trap. And her going into why it's such a big deal that Sanji depended on her for her help with him, and that he is truly worthy of being the wings of the Pirate King. I don't know, like, being on this journey with these characters for so long, again, I know you guys have been on it way longer than me, but little moments like that really helps build, solidify, and what makes, I think, the connections the Straw Hats have with each other kind of unlike anything in Shonen Jump or manga or anime or fiction in general. And it's those little moments. Like when someone comes up to me now, like a friend of mine or something, or people know that I have really gotten into One Piece and stuff, and they come to me and it's like, oh, you're part of the problem, right? You're part of the issue that One Piece is the greatest manga ever, right? Or something. And that's what I kind of explained to him is like, I completely understand. I think you're wrong, but I do understand what you're saying. It's 1,000+ chapters or 1,000+ episodes. It's too long. I'm not going to get into it. Well, whatever. I can't beat that argument because I can't affect the length, right? The one thing I do kind of say is, well, it must be pretty good if it's been around for that long, you know? But when someone asks me what draws me to One Piece, I think one of the biggest answers that I give is the Straw Hats, the main core group, and their relationships with each other. Their relationships with each other is so well done and so fully realized, you'll read or watch them do anything. Truthfully, like obviously the world of One Piece is a whole other thing. I could go on for 17 hours about the world of One Piece. I just might for a video, maybe one day. But I think for me, the core of it is those Straw Hats and how fully realized those characters are. And that is a long-winded way of me saying that Nico Robin moment was so well done. And one of the real reasons that keeps drawing me to One Piece and why I have gotten this far in this journey to chapter 1020. We're like, as of recording of this video, I think we're 46 chapters from being completely caught up, something like that, 45, 46, 47. I don't know. I don't look up future stuff because of spoilers, but I think it's somewhere around there. But the final thing, and what we end this chapter on, Luffy has eaten all the food in the sub, and he tells Momo, don't cry. Not until we're done. We're not done yet. And I just want to say, for that moment, because these are two really good moments in recent memory, I love the way Oda is writing and having Luffy act to Momo. Because it's one of the first times that we are seeing this goofy character push a character, almost become a mentor in a way for mentality. And it shows how much that Luffy has grown. He knows, and he says this in the volume, he knows that Momo is still the king of Wano. And he knows what that means, and he's trying to get Momo to understand that him being the ruler or king or rightful heir, whatever you want to call it, to Wano, holds weight. And that weight means you hold in what you're feeling. Let's get this mission complete. And we don't really see Luffy act like that. And I think it is very, very apparent here. And then he tells him, turn into a dragon, fly me up there. Oh, he's ready to go back. Listen, he's still hungry, but he is ready to go back. And Caribou is there being like, hey, guys, listen, what's going on? I can't leave this island if you don't win. Get it together. It was like a funny throwaway thing. But yeah, overall, 1020 has been a super strong chapter. It's one of those chapters that nothing crazy happens, but it's the small character moments that really, really sell that chapter to me. But yeah, let's get to 1021. Okay, we gotta talk, and I don't want to talk on a beanbag. It seems unprofessional. We're professionals around here. Let's go back to how we normally talk, because I have some questions. Okay, so you want to talk about a chapter that was full of stuff that I did not expect. That is chapter 1021. Oh! Nico Robin, the Momo stuff at the end. Oh my, where to begin? Okay, so this volume, I'm so used to like reading volumes. This chapter, 1021, is all about Black Mirror versus Nico Robin. Nico Robin's fight, I don't even think I can put the image up because I'm gonna be honest with you, that image is, boom. You know, I know it's like probably safe, but if you know, you know. Nico Robin turns into a demon, and boy was she mad. Because we learned that Sabo and Carrot taught her basically how to strike palm strikes. Not only that, Carrot taught her fishman karate. Dude, I was not expecting that at all. And on top of that, she turns into a demon. It is... because it's got like the dark shading in it. Oh, it looks so good. It looks so good. But she destroys Black Mirror. Like, so much so that the ghouls like line up and Brooke's like, thanks for lining up. And he takes them out and they basically have defeated all those enemies in that floor. But to have just a flashback and to show that Sabo and Carrot taught Nico Robin how to use her abilities in basically an offense. And she's like, well, we've seen it before that she like hit the rock. I'm trying to remember exactly if we had seen that or if Oda had just drawn it for that little moment. I can't seem to like grab it out of my head, and I haven't had time to kind of look it up and stuff, so let me know in the comments down below. But to watch her finally be aggressive, and she's like, I can turn into a demon for the people that I care about. And boy, A plus. A plus plus plus. That is not the thing that I had a question about. So, for the last few pages, we are taken back to Luffy and Momo and him trying to eat all the food that has ever been created on this earth. And Caribou actually, like, hey, that's a whole month's worth of food for me because of his Swamp Farm fruit powers. And he is just chowing down. But then we are taken to Momo, and he is asking Shinobu to turn him into an adult. And she even says, like, I can't do that because you'll still have a child's mind. But he's like, yeah, but I can maybe turn into a big dragon, because if we just like the last chapter, Luffy asked Momo if he can turn himself into a dragon to get him back to Kaido. And now Momo, because I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys liked it as much as I do, and we've talked about it literally just like the last few video clips ago. The way that Luffy and Oda has made Luffy and Momo's relationship, I cannot overstate that I love that dynamic. But to become an adult with her ripe fruit powers, how would that even work? Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. He had jumped in ahead. It's been 20 years, right? 20 years, I'm pretty sure. Does she make him the age that he would be now, like his younger sister? And if that affects his powers, does he become stronger? Because he is older and his powers are technically more mature. Again, his mind will still be that of who we have come to know, but now he's an adult. I have so many questions. Not really. I really don't have, I wouldn't say questions. It's just like, I just didn't see it coming. It threw me for a loop. This whole chapter was, I did not expect that from Nico Robin, and I did not expect that's the path that Momo was going to down. I always, and I've said this, I think in I know last video, maybe the video after that, I always felt like Momo and Kaido need to have a showdown. I honestly, why I think it's going to be Luffy who beats him, because it's a shonen and Luffy always wins. I actually wish it was Momo. I really do. I think he deserves it. I think it can be that full circle moment for the son of Odin to beat Kaido. While he has not shown anything, and maybe this time jump in his body to make him an adult could kind of give Oda that reasoning for Momo to be strong enough to take on Kaido. Like maybe they could work that in. Right now, Momo has no shot, right? So maybe they can like kind of give, what is that in the literary world? Like the MacGuffin? Is that the MacGuffin? I think it is. Like the reasoning for the Momo Kaido fight to happen. Because I think that would be a perfect end cap. Because if we've learned anything in these arcs and stuff, they meet characters, some like join the crew, or they want them to join the crew, but they don't. But they have the characters for the arcs, the Vivi's. Vivi's a strong character, but you understand what I'm saying. Like characters that could come back off and on, but they're really made for that arc, the Fishman Island arc, the Alabasta arc. They're made for those arcs, and Momo is kind of made for Wano's arc. And to have his character do this full circle moment and actually be the one that takes down Kaido, I really think that's the right way to go. I don't think it's gonna go that way, but I could see it going that way, and I'd be kind of happy if it did. To give his character that thing of I've fulfilled what my father wanted to do. It's the character full circle. But I did not think that they would go this way with it and have him become an adult. That's crazy. So good. I know you're surprised. One Piece, so good. But yeah, let's get to chapter 1022. Chapter 1022 was pretty much a catch-up volume. It was kind of telling you where everybody was at and kind of how the battle was going and how Otama's dumpling kind of turned the tide of battle. There was a very key moment that I bet you guys knew I would be hyped about, and it came at the very end. The medicine that they gave to Zoro that was supposed to heal him, and then, the pain comes back later on twice as strong, had not been working. And Sanji's like, just get, what do you say? Like, just get the moss head out of here. It wasn't moss head, but it was like some type of his jokes that he normally has with Zoro. But King gets there, and Queen is also there. King and Queen are both there, and King is going to basically destroy Zoro. Marco stops it. Dude, I actually kind of really liked Marco in this moment, because he was like, he stops it, and he's like, all right, that's it for me. I'm good. I'm gonna let the stars take the center stage now. And they do. Zoro and Sanji double attack Queen and King. Listen to me. Listen to me very closely. We better get more of that battle in chapter 1023. That better not be the only thing where, because sometimes in One Piece they do like They do the one kick, the splash page. The page looked amazing. But we get that one thing, and that is it. No. I love Zoro and Sanji, and I need to see those characters fight King and Queen. That would be such an amazing fight. So, let's get to chapter 1023. Chapter 1023, dude. Not only do we get Zoro and Sanji fighting, and I think I've said this in another video because I've always felt this. Zoro and Wano, there is something with them. And then they go into Ryuma, talking about how he was also a one-eyed swordsman, and that's why Zoro got Inma, because he has some type of connection to Wano. And I think that's why he can control Inma so well. And I have to mention, like, Zoro blocks for Sanji, then Sanji blocks for Zoro. Cannot wait to see more of Zoro and Sanji versus King and Queen. Because Sanji mentioned something about the suit, and the second time he put it on, he's like, it's not a bad thing, but I felt different. Sanji about to get another power-up? Is Sanji about to get another power-up? Because that sounds very exciting. But Dogstorm is versing Jack right now, and he turned Sulong because of like a hole in the roof, and they're doing it for Pedro. Man, when Cat Viper's like, hey Pedro, if you can see this and you got a drink with you, pop it open, because he is listen guys, I know you told me in the comments, I'm so sorry, this name is so hard for me. Pesbaroni? Maybe? But yeah, they're going Sulong. Like, it is, the main stars have taken center stage, like Marco said, because the final page of this chapter, well, final 2 pages kind of together, Momo is now 28. And they give us a little glimpse when Shinobu's like, you look just like, and they don't say who, it's Odin. 100%. Has to be Odin. And he is a massive dragon now. And Luffy looks at him and says, let's go get Kaido. Oh, yes, dude. Dude. Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I feel like it's no holds bar. Keep your arms inside the vehicle. We are booking it towards the final showdown. Which, it's been a few chapters since Yamato and Kaido showed up. So, I don't know what's going on with that, but I am on to read chapter 1024. Okay, listen, I know, I get it. I did say it's been a while since we've seen Kaido and Yamato, and then chapter 1024 was nothing but a backstory about Yamato and how garbage Kaido was. Garbage. Trash. And if you, for some crazy reason, have not liked the samurai up until this point and what they stand for, you would be out of your mind to not feel for these people and understand and respect them and love them and want Kaido to the utter trash that he is to be defeated by these people. Because we see the backstory of Yamato, and she's talking about Odin, and she is trapped in a cave with these samurai, and I'm pretty sure one of them is Ryuma, who we learned earlier looks an awful lot like Zoro, like questionably very close to Zoro. Like, you're gonna tell me they're not related? So Kaido leaves her because he's like, oh, well, you're Odin, so you must die. Like, I am physically, Kaido sucks. So she had not eaten, and the samurais have not eaten for like 10 days, they said. He puts one meal, and a bunch of weapons. Basically, and even Yamato says this, they have a grudge against me, they're gonna take me out. Instead, these samurai prove that they have such a great moral compass and moral fortitude they hand her the meal, and she's like, I still be a samurai even though I get hungry. Like, it's a very adorable scene. And then she wants to read the journal, and she's kind of fallen asleep and says that I'll fight on the side of Wano in the 20-year battle that's coming up, or the battle that's coming up in 20 years. And they realize, well, we're not going to be around for that, so we'll never bow to Kaido. We'll never bend the knee to Kaido. So they kind of break out of the temple. We don't really see what happens, but it is inferred that they don't make it. But they get to stick it to Kaido one last time. And boy, does he not. He deserves it. Oh, he deserves it. Oh, Kaido, you suck. He sucks so much. And the last 2 pages flashes forward to the battle that Yamato and Kaido are having right now. And she is yelling about, why do you take my freedom? Why do you take the freedom of Wano? And Kaido is basically like, life is not as simple, a thing of simple questions and simple answers, and then attacks her. And then, we're on to chapter 1025. But I do need to say right now, and I know I've said it in videos before, but I absolutely love when Oda does flashbacks in the middle of big battles and kind of gives you a piece of the past that helps you feel what's going on in the present. And I think this is a prime example of that, and Kaido sucks. And he sucks so much! This chapter was so fun. Chapter 1025. So, basically, what it's about, Momo is crashing through, trying to figure out kind of how to fly now that he is an adult. And apparently a pink dragon. Yamato says a pink dragon. This is the manga, so it's all black and white. But he is a pink dragon crashing through every floor. Not only that, we get to see like Zoro, Sanji, like Big Mom, everybody is so surprised when they see this dragon like crashing through. He's like, I can't open my eyes. Luffy's like, it's because you keep crashing into things. This was like a really funny volume of basically them just getting back to Kaido. And then when they do, Yamato and Luffy both hit Kaido in the face. Once again, I love when people hit people in the face. Like, it's just so fun. And we end it with Luffy saying, I'm going to be king of the pirates. And Momo is looking at Kaido. They're both in dragon form. And he says, I am Momo Kazuki, and I'm going to be Shogun of Wano. He's done it. He's gotten the confidence. I'm excited to see where this goes. Oh, the hype is happening. Oh, the hype is happening. It's happening. It's happening. So, 1026 is Momo basically like wanting to fight Kaido and Luffy kind of helping him. He's like, just bite him, just hold on to him. And Luffy is kind of helping him fight. And everyone is kind of noticing the 2 dragons facing off into the sky. But the hyped moments of this chapter. When Kaido's saying, do you think you have a chance? Luffy's like, as long as I'm still alive, I have infinite chances. You cannot tell me in a manga or anime if there's a character that says that kind of stuff. Luffy, it's just so good. It just gets you so like, yeah, you do. Yes! And the second moment, Dogstorm, Cat Viper are kind of losing the clouds, but when Luffy clashes with Kaido, the clouds part, and the moon, the Sulongs are back because their Sulongs were going away. And even Persperoni, I still am not very good with that name, was talking about, I have all the luck. And you see Cat Viper stand up. What were you saying about that luck? What was going on with that luck again? And they take out Jack and Pesperoni, so they are down and out. And now Luffy, Momo, Yamato are clashing with Kaido. This battle's about to be crazy. I feel it in my bones. The island is collapsing. I guess Kaido is getting weakened by his fight with Luffy, and they do make a... this is really nice about the clouds parting and the Sulongs, about Gold D. Roger and Whitebeard, which is what's happening with Luffy and Kaido, so that's real fun. And I really like how Momo is struggling with, like, trying to be brave. And he even says, he's like, it takes a long time. People don't just change over minutes.
And Yamato, who is now riding Momo, has to deal with the fact that the island is falling and everyone in the capital could die. And now they have to figure out how to stop it without alerting everyone, while Luffy and Kaido are going at it. Not only that, Zoro is going at it with King, and he has basically cracked his mask, and no one's seen his face. And it looks like their battle is really heating up. Like, Zoro almost eats it, and he's like, hey, at least let me die by the sword. Have some respect. And King, that's how we end this chapter. King's like, I ask you to have the same. And it shows the chink in his... So who is King? Think about this. Just ride with me on this. Think about this. King is Ryuma. The one that looks like Zoro in the flashbacks with Yamato. Huh? That'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. Just a theory. Hey, I'm just putting that out there. But yeah, let's get to 1028.
Okay, we just got done with chapter 1028, and the two things that I really liked about this chapter. One, Momo and Yamato are working together, and she is trying to basically get to the armory to defuse the bomb, so if something does happen with, the giant thing crashing down, the bombs aren't there, so that's good. But what I like is Momo is having to believe in himself. Everyone around him is believing in him, but he is struggling with believing in himself. And I think that is a very good character trait for that character to be going through right now with the big battle with Kaido going on. The second thing, my boy, Sanji. Sanji might be turning into his siblings, and he is struggling with that with the fight with Queen. It's so good. Because Queen's like, put on the suit, man. Put on the suit. And he is feeling something in his body, and it's not bad, but he is feeling something he doesn't like. And he's walking, because, first off, a Brachiosaurus can shoot out of his shell and, coil up in front of him, and he breaks all of Sanji's bones. And he's walking back, and he's like, all your bones are broken. And Sanji's like, crap. I think I'm turning into my siblings. I don't want to be a monster like them. And that's where this chapter ends. I was not expecting this to be happening, but I love Sanji's character, you guys know at this point. To go back to, or maybe even to kind of put a end to that storyline for Sanji and his family and the Vinsmoke name, and him having to battle if he is not like his monsters of siblings. That's really exciting. So let's get to chapter 1029.
Okay, chapter 1029. That just got me incredibly hyped. So we get a few panels of kind of Sanji and talking about the exoskeleton that he can make him cold and heartless, him still kind of dealing with that, but running away. And he broke Queen's blade with his neck. So he is dealing with that, but all of a sudden we are shifted to Big Mom and Kid and Hawkins and Killer. Oh! Listen. I have not given Killer the respect he deserves. That's on me. Dude, when Killer comes up with the genius thing, he's talking to Hawkins and okay, well, I have two questions for you. One, where does your damage go if it, can't go to the straw doll or whatever? Either way, he cuts off his left arm because Kid doesn't have one. He's a genius. And it is so touching. Because, the tower card comes up, and, well, it's the crumbling of the old and brittle, as Kid said. And Killer takes out Hawkins. Oh, the sonic spin. Ooh. It's so good. It's so good. And then he says, get going, partner. Because Kid can finally feel light, because Big Mom's kind of like, what's your body doing? He's like, my body feels light. He's ready to go against Big Mom. And the idea of cutting off his left arm because Kid doesn't have one is so good. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know if you know that. Jesus. But But that was the main thing of this chapter, is Killer versus Hawkins, and he finally got Hawkins. I guess Hawkins is gone. He looks pretty gone to me. I would be surprised to see him come back. And just what Oda has done with Killer's character in this arc of Wano is so good. Killer could have easily been like a no-face kind of character, and to have this come full circle and him protecting Kid and taking out Hawkins, and because he had the smile fruit and he was laughing a lot, and to him to come back and protect his friend or his partner, it was such a great thing to read and experience. I think Killer's character has been really killer in this arc. That was a bad pun. That's a bad joke. I apologize. But yeah, 1029 was awesome. Killer shined. Let's get to 1030. 1030. 1,030 chapters we've read. It's crazy, right? So what'd you think of 1030? The people want to know. So the one question I have about 1030, right? We go to this flashback, and Kid asks Law, have you awakened your true power? And then Law does the attack on Big Mom. She turns around. Kid does the attack. Vagabond crash. What are these true powers? What? Have we learned about this? Because it was like a flashback. True power. Are they talking about like devil fruit powers? Because I'm trying to really think. And you guys are always so helpful in the comments. So let me know in the comments. Are they talking about like hockey? Or devil fruit powers, or something that has not really been explained a lot, maybe in the background, or maybe I just missed it. But Law goes into, yes, I can do the attack, but the physical exertion will make sure that I lose this battle. So he does the attack on Big Mom, and Big Mom's going to turn and attack him, and then Kid saves him, and then he's like, Law, get me out of here. And Law's like, don't tell me what to do. I think they have a very similar Sanji Zoro relationship, and that's always like a fun relationship in shonen manga to me. I don't know. I'm really thinking about, what does he mean by has he unlocked his true power? I don't know. Hey, we'll maybe find out. But yeah, let's go to chapter 1031.
Okay, it's late. I wasn't even really expecting to read One Piece, but I have read Chapter 1031. I was not expecting to do a video. I just realized that I'm not wearing a hat, so cool. But Chapter 1031. If you guys don't know this, I love Zoro and Sanji. And okay, so in this chapter, the Kid, Law, Big Mom fight is still going on, right? We get a little bit of that. But the struggle that Sanji is going through about using the suit and what best benefits, the king of the pirates, Luffy, what should he do? Like, that internal struggle is so good. And it really proves to me that I thought in a lot of arcs recently, well, I would say probably since the whole cake arc, right? It feels like he kind of got his moment and then has been pushed to the side. Not in a bad way. Like, obviously all the Straw Hats cannot be all encompassing of the story at all times. Obviously that is 100% true, but you can do so much with a character like Sanji, and that is what I think makes him so intriguing. Not only that, when you see that he put the transponder snail into Zoro's waistband, he's like, when did I get one of these? And they have this conversation. And this is why I love their dynamic. And it was such a payoff for that dynamic. And it has been proven before, but it was just such a great example of it. He tells him, hey, listen, if we're going to beat the Animal Kingdom pirates, obviously, but when all this is over with, if I'm not the same person, you're going to have to kill me. And Thor's like, whatever that is, yeah. And also it gives me something to look forward to. Like, so I'm excited about it. I think that scene between those two is the epitome of that relationship and what makes that relationship so great in the world of One Piece. I just got done reading that chapter, and I knew when I picked it, I was like, I shouldn't read this chapter, then I'm gonna have to do this video, but it is so worth it. It was such a great Zoro Sanji moment, and it was so good. So good. And I'm very intrigued to see where Sanji's character goes in Wano.
All right, 1032 was pretty much just like the battles are going on, you know, X-Drake, Apu going against Cypher Pole people. Something is going on with Enma, with Zoro. Nothing really crazy. Again, it is hard to that Sanji and Zoro moment in last chapter. It's hard to beat. But I'm gonna be honest with you. 1, found a hat. 2, I'm going on to chapter 1033. It's like 9 p.m. I feel like I'm about to read a lot of One Piece. I just have this feeling that I might be caught up by tonight. We will see.
So you're going to tell me the old man in Zoro's village, the ones that gave him his first swords, is also the guy that crafted Enma. I believe I have said this in a video. I knew that Zoro and Wano would have a connection way strong. He wants to be the greatest swordsman, samurai, sword. It all made sense. And I love that he has to actually think about it. I think this is one of the first times that we've seen Zoro actually think about, like, okay, I have to do my haki this way. If I don't do it this way, I can't, swing the sword. I have to use it for this amount of time. Here's the thing. I loved that when they were talking and having the flashback scene, he was saying it's a badge of honor for a blade to be called cursed. Because of what a blade is used for, it needs to be feared because it is testing you. And Zoro loves to be tested because he wants to be the best. And that leads us to the final panel of this chapter. It flashes back to when Luffy says, oh, you're going to be the greatest swordsman? That's perfect, because your new boss is going to be the king of the pirates. And Zoro, at least in this translation, I hope this is the right translation. It's on the Shonen Jump app. He calls Luffy his best friend. He says, this is for my captain and my best friend. Dude, listen to me. I know it's late in the night, but I feel like Sanji and Zoro, and probably a lot of the other characters, are going through a lot of growth right now. Like, way more than I actually thought they would. And it is so exciting and such a smart thing to do, where yes, there's this big, grand, huge battle going on. And One Piece has done this before. It's nothing new, but I'm just saying it's very well executed right now in Wano, where they are having growth and development and even learning stuff about their past in the midst of a big battle. This chapter was all about the old man from the village that crafted the sword, and Zoro coming to terms with Enma and its power capability. And he also called Luffy his best friend, which I'm not gonna lie, that's That's a way to end a chapter. That is a way to end the chapter. Chapter 1034. Sanji? So, Queen starts doing all of Sanji's brother's moves. And he's like, I told you not to mention their name to me. And he even copies Sanji's black stealth. And Sanji has this epiphany, talks about the augment haki, and then he kicks him, and that panel is such good art. It is probably on the screen right now. If I am a smart person, it is so good. And that is how we end this chapter, with, I guess, Sanji beating Queen, because he says, go flying. Oh, dude, when I tell you I have loved this Sanji and Queen fight, it is an understatement. It is one of Sanji's best fight to date. Because, and the reason that I say that is of the development of his characters and his powers and his trust within himself. There was so much development for Sanji's character against Queen. It has to go up there. I would have to actually like sit down and really think about it, but it has to go up in the top. Oh, when he kicks him and he's like, I told you not to say their names around me. Oh man, dude. Let's get on to chapter 1035. Chapter 1035. I think it is so cool to give a little bit of backstory to King, right? And it makes King very much Kaido's version of Zoro. But I also think what's happening is they're starting to wrap up all the other fights, right? We get Sanji officially declared the winner of him versus Queen, and Zoro and King, it's not done, but listen, he did the King of Hell 3-sword style. Woo! It's done. Like, Zoro's not losing this. You know what I mean? But it's still got a little bit to go. But they are wrapping all of this up. So I bet you, I can bet you right here, we're getting close to the Luffy Kaido showdown. I think they're starting to wrap up all. I bet in the next few chapters, we kind of, I don't know, would they wrap up Big Mom, Kid-in-Law though? Because I feel like I bet they kind of wrap that up before we get to Luffy Kaido. Because Luffy Kaido's got to be kind of the end, the big battle, and then we get the celebration or what have you, like we do in all the arcs of One Piece. But I definitely think it's coming because we're starting to wrap up the big battles. But the one takeaway from this, 2 takeaways actually, King of Hell, 3-sword style, ooh, it's good stuff. And I really like that Oda hammers home that King is Kaido's Zoro. Really, if you think about it, I just thought of this. If you think about it, Kaido and King are kind of like what if Luffy and Zoro went bad. Like took a different path to get to their King of the Pirates, World's Greatest Swordsman. And that's really neat, and I'm glad Oda kind of hammered that point home in this chapter. Okay, 1036. It was really like a recap, kind of seeing where everyone's at. But boy, dude, I said this, I think in the last part, because it was only a few minutes ago. I actually know it was the last part. It's not as far in volumes when it's just chapter by chapter. It is said that the next few minutes will determine kind of everything. And they say, well, don't you think like the worst generation has achieved as much as human bodies can handle? Because I'm pretty sure this is kind of a little off topic that I really want to talk about for this chapter, but did Apu leave X-Drake to die? Like, did we see that? Is that actually happening? But no, so they say, haven't they achieved the pinnacle of what a human can do? And then we cut to, we finally cut to Kaido and Luffy. And he does Gum Rock Gun. The panel is amazing. He looks and he says, well, now I'm starting to have fun. And Kaido says, so am I. Chills. It's time. It's time. Strap in. This video's got to be incredibly long. I am so sorry if you're looking down and you're like, oh my god, it's been like 30 minutes and he still has 45 minutes to go. I'm sorry. This is what happens when I don't know where exactly to end it. But we have to at least see this battle with Luffy and Kaido, and that's why I've kind of been doing this without kind of ending the video. I need to see this battle. At least start. Like, at least start. I feel like if it starts, that means we are chucking through the end of this arc. Sanji's battle's been great. Zoro took out King. Awesome. You know, Nico Robin with Black Mara. It's been great, right? All these battles have been great. Kid-in-Law and Big Mom, it's been fun, right? Here's what, dude, this is where we have been waiting for. Luffy and Kaido. I don't know if it's the next chapter. It's going to be a real bummer if it's not. I feel like we should just get into it right now, especially the way they ended this chapter. It is on. This is some of the best paneling for a fight scene that Oda has done in a good long time, if not ever. Luffy and Kaido's battle has started out with some of the best artwork. Also, Kaido's drunk. So that's a good time. And I do like it that he's like, it's because I've accepted you. But I have a question. This chapter is heavy on the Luffy-Kaido fight. Again, amazing paneling, amazing artwork, amazing action. Not much is said, but you just get a feel that Luffy and Kaido are feeling each other out for it to really start going. But then the last 2 pages, we're cutting to the 5 elders, and they are talking about erasing a devil fruit's name from the annals of history. What? Where did this come from? Wait. This video has gone on for so long. I can't stop it now. That's the thing. We just have to keep going. But I was really hoping that this battle was going to really get going. And I was going to stop this video. It was going to be a good length of a video. Now, I apologize. If this is an hour, hopefully I've been entertaining. But I can't stop now. Can't stop, won't stop. Erasing a devil fruit from the annals of history. Are they talking about Luffy's devil fruit? This just keeps getting more interesting and interesting. I am 100% sure that Reaper is Brook that Zoro sees. So in this chapter, we kind of get what everybody else besides Luffy and them are doing, right? Yamato freeze dries this gunpowder because of it all explodes. They're in a bad situation. Frankie, Chopper are worried about Zoro. Zoro is seeing this Reaper that we kind of get a glimpse of his face. I think it's Brook. I think it's maybe like a hallucination from the medicine. Or something to that effect. But the main thing, Law stabs Big Mom through the neck, and his first attack a while back, I guess, had set up his sword growing and being able to penetrate. But on top of that, they're like, oh, Big Mom's dead. And they say vengeance for Big Mom. Then Kid is also there, dragging them all back, making a gigantic metal bull because Big Mom wants to go to the roof. Because obviously that attack from Law did not take her out. And now I guess the final arc of that battle between Law and Kid and Big Mom is about to begin. Because I really like what Kid says. I really do. I like when he said even water droplets can carve stone given enough time. Something to that effect. I'll put it on screen. That's just a really good quote from Kid. It is shocking to me that Kid and Law, obviously they're not friends, and Kid and Law really aren't. They're in an alliance of convenience with the Straw Hats. But I will say that it really shows Kid's character and Law's character to a certain extent. That they understand their mission together, and no matter what, that is what's important. Because obviously they all want to find the One Piece and become king of the pirates, but they understand that the bigger picture here in saving Wano from its oppression and backing up Luffy because they know his capability and he is the only chance that they have at beating Kaido. I mean, obviously we have known that and known that's why the alliance is formed, but with that panel of them saying, I would rather die than see you go to the roof, I think it is a perfect encapsulation of what those characters specifically have brought to Wano and brought to this arc. And it really makes you care about them or like them. And I mean, this is a whole other video. This video is probably way too long. Probably no one's watching at this point. They're like, listen, man, I enjoy your thing through One Piece, but dear God, sir, I'm not going to watch an hour plus video, maybe at this point. Maybe I found a way to edit it to like 30 minutes, but probably not. So that's a whole video in and of itself of how Oda can really craft characters. I think Law and Kid are two of the best examples of that. And I think this moment with Big Mom, this whole battle really with Big Mom, shows why Oda is so fantastic at making you like characters that don't even have our main characters in best interest at heart, but we still like them and they're still such likable people. even though some of them do really bad things. That's a long-winded way of me saying that if this arc has done nothing, it's at least given character growth to a lot of characters that we have known for a good long time. But I still can't wait to see Luffy and Kaido beat each other up. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be so fun. Law and Kid versus Big Mom. Yeah, that's right, we're on the move. I have to pace around. This fight, not only does Law stab through Onigashima, pretty much, like through, it goes, it looks like it goes forever. It's giant. But then he says, you know, finish him off, Kid. And Kid's like, well, how many times I gotta tell you? Don't give me orders. Oh. And he shoots her. Oh, dude. People, listen. I love One Piece. We have, where did we get? The art, fantastic. We have had some of the best battles, one-on-one, 1v1s that One Piece has ever done. Legitimately. It's been some of the best battles in the last few chapters that One Piece has ever done. The thing about it is, right? The bar for Kaido versus Luffy has just been raised exponentially because of the last Sanji versus Queen, Zoro versus King, and now Law and Kid versus Big Mom. Also, when they do the final thing and it's, she goes, "You're gonna kill me, I'm Big Mom." And they're like, "Your era is over." Let me tell you. Oh, it's so good. Chapter 1040, I loved it. It was basically the finale of Big Mom versus Law and Kid. And I'll tell you what I really liked about it. One, the art was amazing. When they were attacking Big Mom, the art has been so good these last few chapters. Like, it's insane. It has been so good. But the one thing that I really liked was Big Mom being like, "Roger, man, hey, why did you have to go and say that? Why did you have to go and say the great age of piracy? You know, we have to deal with that. You're dead. You're gone. We're having to deal with that." And that was really good. I really like that. But I don't think she is dead because she says, "Law, Kid, you're going to pay. Do you really think this is going to defeat me?" And then at the end of the chapter, when Momo is saying that Zenusha is near, which apparently is the elephant in Odin's journal, which was a companion of Joy Boy 800 years ago. I have a decision to make, right? This video, good God, who knows how long it's been going on at this point. I have no idea. I have not edited a single bit of it since we started doing this. So, you're looking down at the time code right now. I'm sorry. We have to get to Kaido and Luffy, like the actual fight beginning. Do you understand? Like, we have had some teases, but like we have read enough One Piece to know when the actual final fight is beginning. It's very noticeable. It has not happened yet. Do I stop now, or do I keep reading? Because here's the thing, now it looks like they're gonna go about the Joy Boy stuff, which I'm super interested about, you know? I'm super interested in learning about that. You guys know. Like, you can look at the time code and be like, oh, he's gonna keep going. I guess I am gonna keep going, but this video might end very weird. Keep hanging out with me and keep reading One Piece. Let's see how I end this video, because I'm very interested at this point. We are at 10:41 now. I'm very interested on how I'm actually going to end this video, to be honest. Have I made a mistake? I don't know. All right, chapter 1041. I'm such an idiot. I'm such an idiot. The elephant they're talking about is the Zhao elephant. I should have known that. I apologize. Why? How do you guys put up with me, honestly? Like, I should have known that. That's on me. What I really liked is Momo questioning himself. I've always liked that since that really started happening, you know, however many chapters ago. At this point, feels like a lifetime since we started this video. But him questioning, it's a perfect question, actually, if you really think about it. You know, Oden tore this page out of this journal. And honestly, if opening the borders of Wano causes harm to the people in Wano, would Oden even want to open the borders? Or is Momo just a coward? That's kind of like the thought that he's wrestling with right now. And I just really love what they're doing with that, because that's such an interesting question, right? Really and truly think about it. There's two very interesting, like, thoughts in this chapter. The first one is that, would Oden, obviously I think it's still yes, right? Like, it's still yes because of Kaido's oppression of Wano. He would want to open Wano for the freedom of the people, right? It does open them up to, I guess, more harm from the outside world, obviously, but overall people should have freedom. Like, I don't know, that, of course, obviously. But it's still really interesting to watch Momo struggle with that, and like I said, this is what I wanted for that character, and for him to be struggling with Yamato, that is exactly what I wanted out of this. It is exactly what I thought would be the most interesting, and I'm so happy it went in that direction of Momo struggling to become, because I really, truthfully, think that he is going to become like the guy in Wano, the shogun, I guess, or the king, maybe, the shogun, the king, you know, I think that he is going to succeed with the help of Luffy and the Straw Hats for what Oden wanted, in turn becoming like the ruler in a way of Wano. I do think that's how his story ends. I think that's the only way that it ends. It's kind of funny because Kid and Law are laying there, and Kid's like, you got anything? He's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm spent, man. Like, whoever comes out of that hole right there, if it's Kaido, I've given up the will to resist. Just take me now. I've given it up. It's over. I did like that part, but it was really interesting because we go finally to Luffy and Kaido, right? He gets a flashback with Linlin, Big Mom. It got me thinking, I might do a separate video just on this. Kaido and the people that he is teamed up with or been with, it kind of is like the Straw Hats, but if they went in a different direction, or a bad timeline, maybe is like the best way to emphasize that. And like I said, I might want to do a whole video on that, because you really do see that his crewmates at the time, before he like came to Wano and became the Kaido that we were introduced to, have a lot of similarities to the Straw Hats and Kaido himself to Luffy in a way. Like I said, it's more that I need to really think about it, but let me know in the comments if you think that's interesting. I do think that would be an interesting video. Not to ramble on about that, we are finally what looks like at the Luffy Kaido fight. He goes Gear 4 Snake Man, and he tells Kaido, I will drive you out of Wano if it's the last thing I do. Oh boy! I'm so ready for this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right? Okay, all right, look, all right. I gotta pick this up. Okay, so you're telling me, right? We finally started getting the Luffy Kaido fight. I think I spit. I was so angry. We finally get the Luffy Kaido fight, right? And CP0, X-Drake, has stabbed him through the gut. He disappears. He iron bodies, holds Luffy, and Kaido smacks him. That's how this chapter ends. I've jumped ahead. I was very excited for this fight to begin, and Luffy immediately starts struggling with Gear 4, right? He's like, I got one more hit in me. If it doesn't land, I lose. And he is going for the final hit, and that is when CP0 grabs him, hard body, Kaido smacks him down. The art was amazing in this chapter. The battle was fun. The thing about it is, he immediately gets smacked down. Because honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I was thinking that I was going to read this chapter and then I was going to end this video. Because, dear Lord, as we know, boy, bet it's long. Probably, right? But I can't leave it at that. I cannot leave it at that, and there's no way. Something has to happen. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm really thinking about, okay? Let me turn on these lights. So here's what I'm really thinking about, all right? Zoro, out of commission. Sanji out of commission. Everybody's really out of commission. They've done their parts. They have been victorious in their own fights. And Luffy gets smacked down. And see, it's been leading up to this, right? And it's just kind of such a bummer. It's such a bummer that Luffy is already at a deficit in this battle. Because he's already struggling with his Gear 4. As we know, like, it doesn't last very long. It takes a toll on his body, right? Usually he turns Gear 4, does his thing, and wins. It does not look good for him. It does not look good for him. How does he get out? What if Momo comes? Because we do see a glimpse of, what was it? Who is holding Momo? When CP0 is holding Luffy, Kaido gets flashed because he's been drunk pretty much this entire battle, which has kind of been funny in and of itself. But maybe Momo and Yamato comes and saves him? Like, maybe Luffy is not the winner of this battle. Like, I think I said that in a few videos ago, that maybe Luffy is not the one that beats Kaido. It kind of makes sense. I kind of see where the story is leading in that direction. I don't know. I don't know when this video ends. Hopefully you're enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying the ride of reading. So let's just continue. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Dude, oh, God, I gotta sit down. All right, okay, listen to me. Listen to me. Is this where we end it? I need to read the next chapter, though. Okay. I guess, so you kind of know. If you don't know, it'd be weird if you're watching my videos and you don't know. But anyway, so Luffy is defeated. It even says, like, winner, Kaido. Momo says he can't hear Luffy's voice anymore. What is happening? And, you know, everybody's sad, and Law and Kid are like, well, I got nothing, but we're going to fight. We're not going to go out without a peep and stuff. And Momo kind of like, all right, listen, I know I've literally said in this video, like, Momo and Yamato, that's the one. Those are it. That'd be cool if they were. And Momo's like, hey, if he beat Luffy, I can't beat him. And Yamato actually pushes him to accept, like, hey, we're going to face death. Let's face it together. Let's go, right? And I'm thinking to myself when I'm reading this, I'm thinking, Luffy's not done. Listen to me. Luffy is not done. This is crazy. It was like one hit and this man is apparently dead. That's crazy. He's not done. That's the thing. He's not done. The Zhao elephant says I can hear it. The bells of salvation. I haven't heard in 800 years. Joy Boy has returned. Son of a bitch. Listen, I don't curse on this channel, so I'm gonna bleep that. But me, Luffy's Joy Boy. We have to read the next chapter. I'm sorry about the length of this video. I don't want to do this way, how we've been doing this. Let's do it the way we normally do it, because Luffy's a god. 1044. 1044? Nika the Sun God. Okay, all right, listen. So, there was a little bit of other things going on. They don't really matter. I'm gonna be honest. They don't matter. They kind of matter, but not really with what's going on. Hiyori, like, you know, introduced herself as Odin's daughter. You know what I mean? To the Shogun. Like, right? Okay, that thing's going on. Whatever. I'm gonna be honest. This is as honest as I can be. Like, I know it's like a really powerful moment for her character, right? Like, all right, Oda, you picked a bad spot to, like, do a powerful moment for that character, because This whole chapter. This whole chapter. Where to begin? Luffy, not dead. He unlocks Gear 5. Okay. All right, dude. All right. Okay. He unlocks Gear 5. And during this kind of like lead up to us finally, like we see it. We see what he looks like. And he is very joyful. Joy boy, I get it. But he is having such a good time. And actually we kind of flash back to like the government, 5 elders, and they talk about how, what if we prayed for this outcome? Because they're like, oh, we made Kaido mad. And they're talking about the gum fruit that goes by another name. And help me out with the comments. Again, I just read this, so I am going to do a whole video about this. That is guaranteed. I promise you, if you have made it through this video, I am doing a whole video about this because I really want to think about this and let this kind of sit with me before continuing on. And the reason being is because they have said like the gum fruit has a mind of its own and it's been eluding them. But it goes by another name. It's like the human fruit that's this mythical power or mythical form of Nika the Sun God, which Luffy turns into? Like that's what I'm not clear about that. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you because he looks, okay, the gears up until this point have all been Luffy, but just kind of bigger, and it's still Luffy, but he has such a different, I feel like Oda even draws him a little different now. So is this kind of like maybe a actual full-on transformation? And that's why I really want to, I guess I shouldn't look into it that hard because I don't want to like spoil what happens after this chapter. But it is mind-blowing. 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 Oof. I can't even, how do I even do this right now? With Luffy actually being a god, what could that mean for, what could that mean for so much? My heart is racing. Like, have you ever like been incredibly, I don't know, like excited, hyped, I guess, like my heart, wow. So he does the transformation, and what I love about this transformation is very cartoony. Like his eyes kind of pop, and he is very cartoony because, and it makes perfect sense, because he is laughing and having so much fun doing this. And he even has a few comments about himself of like, I can't even stand, but I'm having so much fun. And that's why I think this is a full-on transformation from all the other gears. Like, it's kind of funny that Oda even called it a gear. I would almost call it something else completely. And I did really like, at the very end of this chapter, Kaido was like, I'm sorry about that idiot earlier. I didn't want to win that way. Thankfully, you survived. And Luffy just laughed. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. Let's finish this up. Dude is ready. This man is ready. This man, he's ready. Oh, I want a Gear 5 figure. That's just, boy, do I want that figure. Listen, I am so sorry. I know I'm not being like very elegant with how I'm saying things. Again, this is the problem. I didn't think something like this was gonna happen. I wouldn't have read it this way, but now I was stuck reading it this way. So now I don't know how to do this because it feels so weird to, I'm definitely gonna end the video here. And again, if you have made it this far, thank you so much. But I have so many thoughts about this Gear 5 that I think it deserves its own video, and that's what I'm gonna do. Man, this was such a wild ride. Wano might be up there in my arcs just after this chapter, but it might be the hype. Like I said, I gotta sit down and really think about it. But I cannot believe that we got Gear 5 and what Gear 5 actually means for Luffy as a character and the Gum Fruit as a whole. To change the Gum Fruit to mythical, like, I am so sorry. I need to be more elegant. I really apologize. Again, I'm gonna do a whole video about it. I just need time to think and decompress. Hopefully you enjoyed the way that I did the chapters. And hopefully this video was not too long. And if you made it to the end, again, I just gotta keep saying it. I really appreciate you guys. You guys make reading One Piece. It's already incredible. Chapter 1044, Gear 5, I don't know if you know. But you guys make it so much fun to read One Piece and enjoy One Piece. And thank you for caring enough to watch my journey through it. And it really means the world to me. And also, I hope if you're having a bad day, it gets better. If you're having a good day, I hope it becomes fantastic. Like Nico the Sun God, Gear 5, Luffy, what? I'll see you next time. Oh my God. Wow.